What's going on YouTube? It's your girl Easy Breezy. So right now I'm at my salon. I had a client earlier this morning and I'm waiting on my second client, but she's coming in like an hour, 30 minutes. So I'm like, why not just go live? So in this video, I wanted to help you claim your power back. I want to give you a special technique that will help you stay ahead of the game and help you really stay like, you know, 10 steps in front of everyone else. You know, one thing that people have a hard time with doing is taking accountability. And when you are able to take accountability for everything that happens to you, even when you feel like it wasn't your fault, you take your power back because you put the power in your own hands to choose your responses to things, to choose your reaction, right? You know how people say, like, oh, I attract toxic guys all the time, or I attract abusive guys. Well, one way to claim your power back and to never repeat those cycles again is to change up that verbiage a little bit, right? Instead of saying I attract these type of people, say I choose these type of people, right? Because even if a guy came up to you and he was cute to you and y'all had chemistry, you know, after the first red flag that you seen in him, you had a choice to walk away. You know, it's not like you didn't get those signals in your intuition about him being toxic or him being controlling or having anger issues or whatever the case may be. You know, not saying that it's your fault, but it's still your choice, right? So instead of saying, "Oh, I attract this type of stuff all the time," or "I attract this, I attract that," change that verbiage to "I choose this. I choose this. I choose that." Or "I've chosen that in the past," right? Now you can be more present within yourself and now you can literally claim your power back, right? Because no one has a gun to your head. No one has a gun to your head. No one is making you hang out with toxic people. No one is making you, entertain a toxic relationship. No one is making you interact with toxic family members. No one is making you do these things, right? So change your verbiage into words that help you see that you are choosing this, but not only that, but you can control this. You can control this, right? So what is going on, you guys? Let me know where y'all from. Okay, what city y'all are watching this live from. And it is, what is today, Thursday? I'm sorry, is today Wednesday? Is today Tuesday? Y'all, what, first of all, what's today? Because clearly, yeah, what's today? And where are y'all watching from? Y'all know, if y'all don't already, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I was born here in Marietta and I grew up in Gwinnett for basically my whole life. My mom's side is from the Bronx and I have family in Queens as well. And my dad's side is from Jamaica. I have family in the Bahamas as well. But I'm the only sibling of my three siblings. It's my sister, my brother, and me. I'm the only one from Georgia. So let me know where y'all from. But yes, I wanted to make this video to, you know, give you some tough love, you know? Hey Melissa, hey Breezy, I'm watching from Alabama. And that's the other A. And do y'all do this? Do y'all like what's y'all? Oh no, Atlanta. No, what does Alabama do? I know Atlanta and Alabama have very similar, A's, but I know they're a little bit different. But yeah, what's up? All the way from Alabama. I've been to Alabama once. I've been to Alabama once. Yes, because one of my exes was from Mobile, Alabama. So I went out there one time, had some fried fish as soon as I went out there. Okay, period. Hey, Loca. Oh, this name really does confuse me. Hey, Cow Mice. Hey, I'm watching from Chicago. Oh, I didn't know you were from Chicago. Melissa, I'm not sure. I'm up here for college. Okay. So yes, we got Alabama in the building. We got Chicago in the building. That's what's up. That's what's up. So yes, one thing that I will never ever deny is, you know, you can always, it's always possible for you to be a victim, right? It's possible for you to be a victim because there are people out here that are manipulative, that are narcissistic, abusive, like covertly abusive and things like that. So it's definitely possible to be a victim, right? So it may not be fair to necessarily blame yourself for being in your very first toxic relationship, right? Or being in your very first narcissistic, relationship. So of course, you do have to give yourself grace because, I was in a highly um highly emotionally abusive, mentally abusive, and physically abusive relationship. And I chose that, right? When I was 30, what, like 30 years old, or 29 years old, something like that. So I was already grown. I was already grown as hell. But because I didn't realize certain things, right? I didn't realize that the way I love, is not the way other people love. Or my idea of a healthy relationship was not, his idea of a healthy relationship or whatever he even considered healthy. You know what I'm saying? Or the way I was raised is not the way he was raised, not the way he saw life. Or I thought that, if I just let this person know, how I want to be loved or where he's messing up at, I thought that, you know, I guess I could make certain positive changes in his character, so certain things I was very naive about, thinking that I could change someone for the better. And it wasn't like changing him as far as changing the way he dressed, changing his job, changing like anything like that. It was literally like changing the way he used to try to control me, or changing the way he used to try to set all these rules in the relationship, but the rules only applied to me. So certain things like I thought that I could change. And even though, I do consider myself a victim of that situation, even though I did choose him after I kept on seeing red flags, that's why I want to let you guys know that, even though I do want you to reclaim your power back and blame everything on yourself, right? I don't want you to, not have compassion for yourself or not have compassion for other people because there is such thing as manipulation, right? So for example, like in the beginning, like before I got into this relationship with this guy, like he was telling me that he loved everything about me, that he loved everything I stood for, he loved my creative expression, and he just wanted to exalt me. And he was just making it seem like he just wanted to just be my biggest fan and my biggest supporter, right? And I absolutely loved that because I really thought that I was like in the perfect relationship. Like, wow, he loves everything about me. He loves what I do. He loves how I express myself. And he's telling me that he just wants me to do more of that, more of that. Right. So I thought I had the perfect partner. But while I was in the relationship, like every couple weeks, he would put a new rule on me, right? Oh, well, you can't dress like this, or you can't do this, or you can't hang out with that person, or whatever. And it's crazy because, like, in the beginning, like, he was making it seem like everything about me he accepted, right? But as time went on, he would change things very slowly, right? And the thing about manipulation is not just out front. Like, manipulation is not easy to spot for everyone. Oh, yes, love bombing. Yes. It was a lot of love bombing, a lot of future faking too. Like, love bombing is when you are just showering someone with love, but you're doing it with ill intent. You're not showering someone with love the way a mother would shower her child with love, right? You're showering someone with love so they can be comfortable around you, so that you can have control over them. So in the beginning, a lot of narcissists, toxic people, they shower you with love so you can feel comfortable, so you can fall in love, so you can feel like at home with this person. And then later on, when after you already have their trust, that's when they start to switch it up on you, right? And they don't do it all at once. It's just little aspects of you that they try to change, little aspects at a time. So that's why, like, it's very hard to explain to people, that you were abused or that you were with a narcissist. Because a lot of times people will be like, well, it doesn't sound so bad to me. Or I don't know, like, maybe you were tripping, or maybe you were the one tripping, or whatever. So yes, I understand that you can definitely be a victim of manipulation and narcissistic abuse and things like that. But after you're out that situation, after when you really have the space and the time to look at everything from an outside perspective, you have to ask yourself, what was the first red flag? Right? What was the first red flag? And even though at that time I thought that I could change that within that person, you know, now I know that I should never go into a relationship or friendship of any kind and think that once I see someone's character, that will just magically change with a conversation, or change with me confronting them, or change for any reason, right? That's like me getting a dog, right? And expecting the dog to start meowing later on, you know what I'm saying? Like, years after I have the dog. Like, why would you expect that person to change its spots, right? So there were things that I had to learn about people, just in general, just mankind I had to learn, right? But when I really, like, took myself out that situation and looked at it from a outside perspective, I do remember every single red flag. I do remember every single time my intuition tingled and gave me the thought that, I don't know about this person. So instead of me going through life, you know, with this victim mentality, right? Even though, yes, I do consider myself a victim in that situation, but I'm not going to have that mentality, right? It's a difference. It's a difference because I'm not going to blame myself for being manipulated. I'm not. I wasn't the abuser. I wasn't the manipulator, right? I'm not going to blame myself for being manipulated, but I am going to take accountability for choosing that even after I seen the red flags, right? So being a victim versus having a victim mentality are two completely different things, right? Having a victim mentality is constantly living in fear, never taking accountability for your part, the part that you played, right? Uh, just literally giving your power away and never reclaiming it, right? Expecting other people to save you, expecting your happiness and your success, expecting other people to take care of that, right? So yes, you can be a victim of a situation, of something that you didn't see coming, right? Or didn't have any control over. But You don't want to walk around with that victim mentality because you do want to be responsible for certain decisions that you've made so that you know what not to do next time, right? Uh, what signs to not fall for next time, what characteristics of people, friends, guys, girls to not fall for again, right? So, a lot of times, right, girls with a when it comes to dating, girls with a victim mentality, right? And I'm just gonna name an example of what a victim mentality looks like in real life. Once again, a victim mentality is when girls say, "Oh, I just always attract these type of guys," right? I always attract them. I don't know why I always attract them. Or these type of toxic guys, they just love me and I'm always with a toxic guy. Or I always attract cheaters. Or I always attract, you know what I'm saying? So with that mentality, right? You are taking your power and literally giving it to someone else. You are taking away your ability to decide. You're taking away your ability to walk away once you see red flags. You're taking your power from yourself, right? You're taking it from yourself. So I understand that, you've attracted a couple toxic guys in your life and you didn't know that they would remain toxic, or you didn't know that they would treat you toxic, right? You thought that they were toxic to everyone else, but when it came to you, y'all had a special bond and he wouldn't do you like that. But then you realize that, okay, the way someone does one thing is the way they do everything, right? And these are lessons that we have to learn. This takes time. This takes experience, right? Like, you'll never really know how to attract a good partner unless you've made some mistakes in the past and been with a bad partner, right? So, instead of, you thinking to yourself, or, claiming this mentality that that's all you attract and you can't help it and it's out of your control, then that's the reality that you're going to experience, right? So, and that goes with friends as well. You don't want to always say, "Oh, I attract girls that be hating," or "I attract girls that are jealous." You don't want to put that on yourself. Words are powerful. Words are powerful. And, perception is everything. So how you see yourself is how you're going to experience your life. How you speak on yourself is how you're going to see yourself, is how you're going to experience your life and your reality. So instead of saying, "Oh, I always attract hating friends," or "I always attract jealous friends," how about you say, "Well, in the past, I've I've created dynamics with girls where they ended up envying me, right? And instead of walking away, I decided to continue to be their friend despite the red flags," right? For whatever reason, maybe at that time I didn't think that I could ever have a best friend. Maybe at that time I didn't think that I could easily make friends. Or at that time, I didn't think that I would ever find someone that I can get close to in that way. There's always a reason why we don't walk away from things. It's just that we don't actually do that shadow work, right? What was the reason you didn't walk away? And when you can finally stop pointing the finger and you can point the finger at yourself and say, "Well, why didn't I walk away when I saw the red flags? Or why didn't I walk away when I had the chance to?" Right? We can finally take our power back, be more present, and be more self-aware. That way, we can understand, how to counteract our bad habits, or how to not get, or be a victim of our own subconscious trauma, right? There's a reason why I didn't leave that friendship when that friendship was not pouring into me and I was only pouring into it. There's a reason why I didn't leave that relationship after seeing 100 million red flags. Why didn't I leave? Did I not think that I could attract another man like that, if not better, 10 times better? Did I not think that I was going to be able to live my life single for the next couple months or next couple years? Was I afraid of that? Right? What was my fears? What was I afraid of? Why wasn't my confidence high? Did I not believe in myself? Did I not think that I could attract someone that was actually worth my time and worth my energy if I left that guy alone? You know? So we have to do that shadow work. We have to see what is it within ourselves, right? Now, I always say that a narcissist is someone who is toxic to other people, but an empath is someone who is toxic to themselves, right? Not saying the definition of that is that, but I'm saying like in the narcissist empath dynamic that people always, talk about, like in a narcissistic relationship, there has to be an empath because there has to be someone that doesn't love themselves enough to where they allow their energy to be siphoned by this narcissist. A narcissist will never be with another narcissist. Right? Or if a narcissist is with another narcissist, that means they're both masking to get what they want from the other person, and before you know it, they're going to be fighting like cats and dogs. Right? Normally, with an empath and a narcissist, those relationships, I feel like those relationships will last a little bit longer than two narcissists, because the empath is actually has the mindset of loving unconditionally, right? So they think that they can heal this narcissist or this toxic person or whatever. They feel like they can speak love and light into them. They feel like they can change them, right? And because they're naive to the fact that people don't really change their spots, they just keep on trying and they keep on trying. And because that, toxic person did all that love bombing in the beginning, that empath tries to recreate that honeymoon phase. They try to recreate the beginning. Like, okay, if only I can just, be agreeable and be, submissive and be docile enough to where it doesn't trigger this person, and I can just get us back to where we were in the beginning, right? So it's like they're always chasing that beginning feeling. And so once again, a narcissist is someone who is toxic to other people. But an empath in that dynamic is someone who is just constantly toxic to themselves. They give all of this love, right? All this love, all this compassion, all this energy and support to their partner at the expense of their own energy, right? At the expense of their own energy. They don't mind not getting poured into. They'll accept getting the bare minimum, right? If that person is a little bit nice to them or did one thing for them, right? Like to an empath, if someone has like 4 good qualities but 8 bad qualities, like they'll accept that person just because they're trying to hang on to those 4 good qualities, right? So an empath doesn't mind the destruction of themselves in order to maintain or uphold a relationship if they're getting one benefit from it, right? And that one benefit can be some type of validation. That one benefit can be romance, right? That one benefit can be that camaraderie or that feeling of camaraderie, right? So you don't want to be that self-destructing empath that is constantly giving to other people, making sure other people are good, loaning money out, giving people rides, supporting people, and you're not getting any of that back, right? Being toxic to other people is just as bad as being toxic to yourself. Being toxic to yourself might even be worse. I don't even know which one is worse. So, yes, blame everything on yourself. Even if you were the victim in a situation, be like, you know what? I didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, I did not see that coming, but I will say that I did see the red flags. And I did have that feeling in the deep down, deep down in my heart. I felt it. I seen it. I felt it in my intuition. Right? You have to blame everything on yourself. That's the only way you're going to give yourself that power back. So, okay, Cal Ma said being toxic to yourself is definitely worse, because who else do you got beside yourself? Who? Who? Who you got? Right? Without you, this reality doesn't even exist. You know what I'm saying? It's like when a snake eats itself when it bites its tail. Who you got? Who you got? If you don't have yourself, who else do you have? Right? Who do you have? Now, this topic can also go into different categories, such as health, right? Let's say we go every single day and we are continuously eating things that taste good, but that make our stomach hurt, right? And I'm definitely a perpetrator of this, okay? We love these type of foods or whatever, but it makes our face break out, right? It makes us bloated. It makes our stomach hurt. It gives us eczema. It gives us psoriasis. Certain things, like it gives us acid reflux, whatever it is. These signs that our body gives us, they are literally like, they're just like whispers, right? Like, hey, this is not good. This is not good. I don't like this. I don't like this, right? And a lot of us ignore these signs that our body is clearly trying to tell us, right? These are clear warnings our body is trying to tell us. And it doesn't, we don't really get the picture until years later when we have these diseases, right? And we have these inflammations in the body and we don't know how to cure them or how to control them. So now we have to pay thousands of dollars to these holistic doctors, or these prescriptions or whatever the case may be. So yes, you may have not known, you know what I'm saying? You may have not known, but at the same time, you can look back and be like, well, did, you know, I did get a stomach ache every time I ate that one food, or I did break out on my face every time I ate sugar, or every time I ate meat, or whatever the case may be. So, instead of saying, oh, woe is me, right? Hey, Spider-Man, instead of, blaming everything else and making yourself feel like you have no control, you have to look back at what were the signs. What were the signs, right? Now, one time, y'all, hold on, let me read this comment real quick. So, Kalma said, this topic can be applied for life in general, period. Everything. Take accountability for everything. Nah, I will still eat Chipotle even though it hurts my stomach. Listen, stop getting the queso, okay? Stop getting the queso. Spider-Man said, hello, always got you. Thank you. Stop getting the queso. Stop getting the sour cream. Because that may be the things that are hurting your stomach, okay? Instead of sour cream, just get the guac. Just get the guac. You don't even have to get sour cream. A lot of times it's the dairy, okay? It's the dairy. So, yes, you guys, one thing that people refuse to do, and it's not because like they don't notice that it's happening, right? It's not because they don't see it or they don't notice it. People do not take accountability for their actions because it's an ego thing. People do not want to be wrong. Okay? Like, no one wants to be wrong for whatever reason. It's like you don't want to correct your mistakes. You don't want to become a stronger person, a smarter person, someone with more discernment, someone who is strong enough to say, you know what, I was wrong in that situation. I should have walked away. I should have stopped. I should have detached myself when I still had the chance. You know what I'm saying? I should have loved myself and respected myself more. I should have respected myself enough to do better for myself and do better by myself, or do you know what I'm saying? Like do right by myself. Right? A lot of people do not want to take accountability because they don't want to be wrong. They want to point the finger at everything around them and everyone around them, right? And it's like that's not serving you. That's literally not serving you. Not taking accountability for the that you do is not serving you, right? Even if you're not the quote unquote perpetrator, right? For causing toxicity in someone else's life, you're still the perpetrator for causing that toxicity or accepting that toxicity within your own life. So when something happens to you, right? Don't be surprised. Don't be shocked. You had the signs, right? You had the signs. So, one thing that I used to do, right, which I still do a little bit now, but not really, because some people it's just like, girl, who cares? Think what you want. But when I was like in my early 20s, like now mind you, I've always taken accountability for just things because number one, like when I was younger, I was a people pleaser, right? So I didn't have beef with anyone because I was always like the neutral one. I was always like the nice one. I was the people pleaser type, right? So I was never like someone that used to like bully people or like throw shade. Like that just wasn't me. That wasn't my character, you know what I'm saying, in my life or whatever. I was the people pleaser. So when I got older, when I started to gain some respect for myself and started to have a little mouth, when I started getting a little bit snippy, I started to have discourse, with certain people in my life, right? So certain times, like certain situations where I normally would have said nothing, now I started to say something, right? Now I realized that I was, bumping heads with people because I was more vocal, right? So let's say if me and someone got into it or whatever, I would automatically know, well, this wasn't me, back in the day. This wasn't me when I was in high school, or this didn't used to be me. So the fact that I'm even having problems with people, it automatically made me look within myself. Okay, so what's going on? Even though this person may have done something to me that I didn't like, or said something to me that I didn't like, how did I contribute to us arguing? Or how did I contribute to us falling out? You know what I'm saying? When before, if someone said something to me that was wrong or tried to bully me or whatever, I used to just say nothing. Not saying that was right or wrong. I'm just saying that I was doing some introspective work, So what is causing me to have this discord with people? So I automatically, looked within myself and was like, well, I did come at this person, I did confront this person, and I know clearly people don't like to be confronted. So I used to go on these apology tours, right? In my early 20s, I used to go on these apology tours. So if I ever felt like I did something to a friend or a family member, I used to literally text their phone and be like, hey, that one time we went back and forth or whatever, I just want to apologize because I knew I could have did that differently, or I knew I could have said something differently, or whatever the case may be. And they just be like, okay, girl, it's okay. It's okay. It's the kid, blah, blah. Right? So, and I used to do these like every like once a year. I used to go on like a 6-person apology tour, 7-person apology tour, and things that were just like weighing heavy on me. I used to just want to clear the air, right? One time, I was on shrooms, right? And I was just like real in this like very blissful, high vibrational, loving state of mind or whatever. And I was just like thinking about all the problems that I had with this one friend, and it started to just weigh on me so bad, y'all. Like I promise you, like sober, I'm already like very conscious of myself or whatever. But when I'm on psychedelics, I become this little angel. So so I texted my friend and I was like, I'm so sorry for, you know, all the times I, ever offended you or whatever. And I was crying, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, oh, I felt so bad. And she was like, girl, it's okay. Like, she was literally laughing at me, right? And meanwhile, I felt like my heart was just so heavy, you know? So, yes, I used to do that. I used to go on those apology tours. Hold on, let me read this comment real quick. Absolute facts. Calmon said, Breezie, you are so sweet. I can't relate. I'm more of what's done is done and leave it alone. That's how I am now. Okay, period. That's how I am now. But I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. So yeah, I used to go on these apology tours, right? Now, the thing that made me stop going on these tours is because one time me and my friend got into it, right? And once again, I apologize. I'm a big apology person. I just like to apologize because number one, it makes me feel empowered, right? It makes me feel like me and someone have like a deeper bond, because when I introduce apologizing in a friendship or like any type of relationship or whatever, it just makes me feel like we have like opened up deeper levels of trust. You know what I'm saying? And I love going deep. I'm a deep, okay? I'm deep as, okay? I love being deep. So, like literally like, one time I went on a date with a guy, and the first date that we had, we were on shrooms. So just so we can like get deep. Like I just like getting deep, right? So anyways, so I apologized to her the next day, right? Now this situation, okay, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was. Spider-Man said, word. Y'all, I'm so deep. I'm just so loving. Like, I don't know. So anyways, so this situation was, we were starting a YouTube channel together, right? And before we launched the channel, we recorded like 10 videos or whatever. And I realized that I was going to be the only one editing. I was going to be the only one really like putting effort into the channel, because I've had multiple channels, so I know how to do this, right? So I was like going to be the main one operating, and I was going to be the main one marketing. And you know, she has a slight following on social media, but I felt like I was going to be the main one promoting as well, right? Now, I didn't mind that, you know what I'm saying? But I was just like, I just have to make sure that I'm being compensated. So I remember, I think like the Google AdSense or whatever, it was like connected to her email, right? And I remember asking her, you know, do you mind if we connected, or if I make an email where it's connected to me, and I can pay myself first for whatever I decide to pay myself for editing and all these other things, and then I'll pay you us, or you out, or us out, whatever, you know what I'm saying, through whatever else we accumulate after I pay myself. And she said, okay, cool. So, you know, we did that or whatever. And then I was like, okay, good. Because that was giving me a lot of anxiety. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whew. Because, you know, I didn't want anyone to control my money when I was literally doing like 80% of the work. Now, I was editing this video for like, I was editing our footage for hours. Like, editing hair videos takes like 40 minutes. Editing vlogs takes like hours for some reason. Like, I don't know, it took me so long to edit these vlogs. And I remember she was like, oh, my lace is lifting, delete that one. And I'm like, delete that one? Like, what you mean? Like, I'm not deleting nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, just because your lace is lifting on the side does not mean I'm deleting a whole 1 hour vlog that took me hours to edit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I'm already like a little bit irritated. Then she got mad at me because I didn't delete the video. And I'm just like, I'm already thinking in my head, like, this ain't gonna work. Like, I'm sorry, this ain't gonna work. Because you're not gonna pay me for editing that video. Like, I know you're not gonna pay me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't ask her to pay me. But I'm just thinking in my head, if you can see me, doing all this work for the channel, for you to be like, oh, I don't like that, delete that, and you don't really see what I'm doing, it just lets me know that you don't know what it takes. Like, you don't know what it takes. You don't know the energy that it takes. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. She just doesn't know. And I got anxiety. I'm not gonna lie. I got a lot of anxiety. And the next or later on that day, I texted her and I was like, I want to take a step back. I want to take a step back on this because I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety about this, business venture. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm going to be putting in a lot of the work, a lot of the energy, and I'm not going to be compensated. And I already have my own channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already have a channel that I'm trying to grow. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to be as objective as possible, and I just sent her the message. And my heart was beating as I was sending it because I'm like, I know she's going to be mad at me, right? So she texts me back, that's cool, but I just feel like you're selfish because blah, 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 right? So we end up having like a back and forth because once somebody calls me selfish for protecting my peace, rightfully so, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's when we started to go back and forth, right? Next day, I felt bad and I apologized. Tell me why this girl said, I mean, that's cool that you apologized or whatever. No. Okay, this is what I said. I apologized and I was like, let's talk it over while we do a video or something like that. Like, I offered basically to do her hair. Because if y'all don't know, I used to get like buku. Like, I still get sponsored now, but back in the day, I used to get like 20, 30 wigs a month. Like, I used to get so many wigs. So I used to always invite my friends over to get their hair done. Like, I used to do it like a whole like activity, right? Because at that time, I could do their hair. I'll end up getting paid for the video. We can drink wine and laugh and stuff like that. Like, that was like a thing, like an activity for me, right? So I was like, I apologize for that. And then I was like, come over later, let's do a video. Tell me why this girl was like, I appreciate their apology or whatever. And then she was like, but just because you apologize don't mean I'm always going to forgive you or something like that. And then she was like, don't try to throw a wig in my face or like hair in my face like I'm always going to forgive you. That's when I was like, oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore. Because number one, I didn't do anything to her, right? If I had trepidation about a business venture that I knew that I was going to, that I know that I was going to be the largest energy contributor to, right? And that this venture didn't really like serve me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I protected my energy and I apologized to her and I offered her a free wig and an install just so we can talk it out or whatever. And she had the nerve to be like, oh, I don't have to forgive you, or, like, I'm not going to keep on forgiving you. That's when I realized, okay, I have the wrong friends. Okay, hold on. Let me read some of these comments real quick. Because that shit was crazy. Okay? Okay, KK said, you apologize not only because you thought you did something bad, you apologized because you knew you needed an apology too. Clock it. Spider-Man said, I can't believe you didn't let the world steal your good nature. It got close. It got very close. Yes, all that energy being unappreciated would take me back. KK said, never let someone question your sanity. Man, what? Spider-Man said, KK said, Sometimes people will know they should apologize first, but you have to do it first to see if they will too. Then you got your answers. I swear, I swear. And no friend that I've ever had, none of my friends from elementary school, none of my sisters from elementary school has never apologized to me for anything. Anything. They've never apologized to me for anything. Every time me and one of my friends fell out, I was always the one to extend the olive branch. I was always the one to pull up at their house with a gift, ready to have a conversation. It was always Zakia. It was always me. So the fact that, my friend at the time, whatever, even said that to me, it just let me know that I'm apologizing to the wrong people. They think I'm apologizing because I'm weak. They think I'm taking accountability for my end because I think that I'm the only one wrong. No, it's not because I think I'm the only one wrong. It's because I'm just taking accountability for my side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, like, okay, we did all these videos together or whatever. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I probably wasted your time. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm apologizing for the miscommunication. I told you I had anxiety about everything, like, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, when it comes to, like, apologizing to people, like, a lot of times you initiate the apology because you think that they're going to be like, you know what? Since she's apologizing, I'm going to apologize for my part too. Or I'm going to apologize for what I did too. But a lot of times people see that as a way to, like, get a one up on you. It's not a way for y'all to bond. It's not a way, it's not like an opening for them to apologize to you too and take accountability for their side too. It's literally just a way to gain power over you. So when I realized that's how most people think and that's how most people operate, I stopped. You're not getting shit apology from me. Especially if I know I'm not wrong. Well, stop. Okay, Okay, Cal Ma said, that's why I prefer to do creative work and business by myself. I love collabing, but I love collabing in a way where it's like I'm still in control of the situation. Like, I don't do like 50-50 partnerships because I'm always the one doing more work. Always. I'd rather just hire people. You know what I'm saying? Hire people in their fields that they love to do or they love being in or whatever, and exalting them. Like, I don't want no 50-50 partner. Like, unless you are putting in a hell of an investment, I don't need no 50-50 partner. I don't. I like doing things by myself. Spider-Man said, Spider-Man said, that's the problem with being good-natured. Advantage takers can just smell it on you. Man, what? Kalma said, that girl didn't even put much work into it. I shake my head at people like that. And that's why she's not my friend no more. Spider-Man said, I don't like commenting because I'm so into it. Please. I don't like it when y'all quiet. Kalma said, if I didn't have the trait of stubbornness, I think people would have took advantage of me too in elementary. KK said, they know you are a good person, so they use it as your weakness. Yes, they sure did. And the crazy thing is, I don't think those girls are bad people. I don't. I think they were good friends, great friends. Not all of them, but some of them were great friends. Some of them were good friends. Some of them were bad friends. But I feel like they were, beautiful women. I think they're beautiful women till this day, right? But I do think that when you act like prey, you're going to attract predators. When you treat someone like a celebrity, they treat you like a fan. It's not something that they tried to do to me. It was a dynamic that I played a part in subconsciously. I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't realize that I was creating this dynamic, right? So, certain things would happen, certain things would play out a certain way. And at that time, I seen it as them being fucked up people, or them trying to use me, or, they're trying to use me, da da da. And it's not necessarily that. It's just that I treated them like celebrities, so they treated me like a fan. When really, I digress. Spider-Man said, "Oh, we be so invested, it feels rude interrupting you." I appreciate you. Cal Moss said, "It's tricky in these situations. Like, people make mistakes. It's so hard to forgive them. I mean, it's tricky in these situations. Like, people make mistakes, so it's hard for me to give them a bad person label." Exactly, exactly. And that's why I was in these dynamics, these friend dynamics, for so long. And it's not even like it's been like that since day one, right? These friendship dynamics transformed like in our 20s because I started getting a lot of wigs. So the more wigs I got, the more in demand I was, I guess, and the more people wanted from me. And people, like my friends, would literally try to claim wigs before I even got them. Like, two of my friends were like, let me know when you get a blonde wig. Let me know when you get a blonde wig. Or why'd you give so-and-so that red wig? Or why'd you give, and they started to argue amongst each other over my shit. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that all the time. It became that. It transformed into that. And yeah, so, Cal Moss said, yeah, sometimes it's the dynamics and human nature that takes over. Yes, it's the human nature. It's that survival instinct that takes over. I don't think people intentionally do it. It just happens in some cases. Yep. KK said, so basically you have to experience in order to look out for it in the future. Yes. Yes, you have to. Because, once again, it is possible to be a victim, right? It's possible. But when you're finally out the situation and you look back, right? And you can look back to it from a higher perspective, you really do remind yourself of all the red flags. You really do remind yourself of all the times you were giving and that energy was not being reciprocated, right? So, yeah. So after, I was this apologetic person and I tried to be the friend that took accountability or whatever, and I tried to be that person, after I realized that they were really looking at me like I was weak and that almost like I needed them, that's when I had to show myself. Not show them, I had to show myself. I don't need none of y'all. I don't need none of y'all. And if you think that I'm going to be the only one being a real nigga in these friendships and I'm going to be the only one apologizing, I got nothing coming. I got something coming for y'all. Okay? And, by the grace of God, I was able to, have the confidence in myself to let go of them. Not saying that it was an easy let go or, it was amicable, because it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? We ended up not liking each other, hating each other's guts when we fell out or whatever. But, I don't necessarily, I don't beat myself up over that, because it was just so many years of compiled situations on top of each other. So I don't necessarily look at myself like a bad person for how we fell out or the things I said to them or whatever. I just don't. I used to be super apologetic. I used to feel super guilty. I used to just feel bad about myself all the time. And then when I realized how much of a great friend I was to these people, I was like, I don't have to feel bad about nothing. I'm not feeling bad about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, but I also had to, once again, this goes back to the subject. I had to take accountability for the dynamics that I created with these girls, right? If my love language is basically doing a service for you, why would they expect anything different from me? right? So I had to start putting some value on myself instead of just, once again, pointing the finger and being like, oh, they used me. My friends used to use me, blah, blah. Okay, that could be true, right? But how could I prevent myself from experiencing that again with my future friendships? Why was I doing that for them? Was that my people pleaser syndrome still oozing out of me, as an adult, right? So then, I had to ask myself, well, I don't want this type of dynamics in the future. I don't want my friends to look at me like some type of wig grab. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to see me as someone that you can't invite on vacations, or you can't invite to the club, or you can't invite to celebrity events, but you can call my phone when you need your freaking hair done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to be that friend to other people. So I had to take accountability. I had to reclaim my power back. And I had to ask myself, how was I creating those dynamics? I was giving out too much for free. Even though that was my quote unquote love language, I had to switch that up. I had to change that, because I don't want anyone to feel entitled to my shit no more. I don't. And I don't want to have entitled friends anymore. I don't want to have friends that look at me like I'm some fool. You know what I'm saying? So after I, did that introspection, I was like, you know what? I'm never giving away hair for free. If someone wants their hair done, um, I'm just gonna have to make them pay. Everyone pays. Everyone pays. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has to pay. Because even if I love someone enough to be like, you know what? I fuck with you. I see what you got going on, or I see, you're going through something. I really just want to do your hair. That can only come once in a blue moon, because they say that if you have someone that says yes all the time, the first time they say no, people are going to hate them, right? Someone that says yes all the time to everybody, bends over backwards for everybody, right? Says yes all the time. The first time you say no, people are going to look at you like, are you okay? You know what I'm saying? People are going to get angry the first time you say no. But for someone that says no all the time, for someone that has boundaries 24/7, right? For someone that says no all the time, the first time they say yes, people appreciate it. People respect it. Because damn, she'll never say yes. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's one thing that I realized. Like, I'm an Aquarius. One of my former friends, or current, hopefully she's not watching this, because girl, I don't know what we are. One of my former friends is a Capricorn, right? I was always the friend that said yes, right? Yeah, sure, yeah, sure, yeah, sure, right? And then the moment I started to say no, that's when my friendship started to change for the worse, right? This Capricorn, she used to say no all the damn time, okay? She was the most stingiest, selfish friend we had, right? But for some reason, we were still friends with her, right? And I know why. We were friends with her because she was physically attractive and she was very social. So she used to get us in clubs for free. She used to she was also like the one that brought us all together. So she was the common denominator between all of us. So she was like the glue, like within the group, right? So we just liked the way she was. Like, she was the best dancer out of all of us. She was just very she was a social butterfly. Like, she was the one that kind of brought us all together. She was stingy as hell, selfish as hell, said no all the time, right? So whenever this Capricorn said yes, it's like, oh, she's so nice, or thank you, it's like we appreciated it more. And what I realized is, with the Capricorn, she don't burn bridges like that. Like, I've never really known her to burn a bridge. If she's ever fell out with someone, it's because she fell back and didn't make a scene. You know what I'm saying? So she never got emotionally wound up with a friend or whatever, because she never gave too much of herself. And she never had people that saw her as food or saw her as, weak or a doormat, because she always had strong boundaries. And the first time she said yes to people, everyone loved her because she never said yes. You know what I'm saying? But with me, because I was the people pleaser, and the moment I started to set up boundaries for myself and speak up for myself, that's when everyone turned on me. And it was when I used to, now I know. But when I used to think about it, I used to think in my head, why do I seem to have smoke with all these people, right? And I'm the one that is constantly supporting. I'm the one constantly patronizing people's businesses. I'm the one constantly trying to fit people in my program and trying to, spread my blessings on other people. Now, why the fuck all these people got smoke with me, and no one ever had smoke with her, and she don't add value to no one's life? It's because I created this dynamic where people became entitled. That's the only reason why. So, it's a blessing that I was able to see that. You know what I'm saying? That I'm able to just see, her dynamics and her friendships, and I'm able to look at my friendships, and I'm able to compare them, right? And be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, she had these boundaries. That's why no one crosses her. She has these boundaries. That's why people respect her. I didn't have boundaries. That's why people crossed me. I didn't have boundaries. That's why I got disrespected. Okay, so Kalma said, it's the word free when ish hit the fan. It's the word free. I'm sorry, I don't get that. Spider-Man said, it's a business. Every little loss adds up. Yes. So, I could have been like, oh, I don't like female friends. I don't have female friends. You know how a lot of girls be. I don't hang out with females. I don't like women. I don't hang out with women, this, women, that, right? I could have been that. I could have easily been that. I could have been like, women are jealous of me. Women be trying to use me. Women be envious. Women be crossing me. That could have been my story. Easily. That could have easily been my story. Right? But instead, I was like, you know what? I'm going to acknowledge the part that I played in these dynamics. I'm going to acknowledge the part that I played that had these people viewing me the way they did, treating me the way they did, right? And I'm going to make sure that with my future friendships, I'm not going to perpetuate these patterns. I'm just not. And if I have to change my love language, I'm just going to change it. And if we don't connect on any other level other than doing hair, then it is what it is. But I'm not going to I'm not just going to try to bond with a girl by doing her hair. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Like, I used to do that because it was so easy for me to, but now I'm not doing that because clearly y'all motherfuckers don't appreciate it. Okay? So I took my power back. I took accountability. I apologized to my damn self, right? And now I just feel like I have more control over my relationships now. And even when it comes to attraction, right? Now I even feel like I have more power when it comes to what I attract. Because when you have respect for yourself, people can see that. When you when you have respect for yourself and you have boundaries and you assert those boundaries with people and you don't let people just, have little things and free samples of you and stuff like that without paying, like, people can see that and they will start to respect you too. Right? When you give people too much in order just to have a relationship with them, they see you as food. And they will overstep your boundaries that you never even established. So you can't even really call it, overstepping your boundaries because you don't even have any. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so Kalma said, or people say having no friends is a blessing. I mean, there's polarity to everything, right? Can one of y'all tell me what time it is, please? Because I have a client on the way, and I might have to get off here soon. So someone please tell me what time it is. And I can't check right now. Um, but damn, what's I about to say? Okay, Kalma said, or those people that say I'm celibate. Oh, the friends is a blessing thing. 4. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. Okay. Four on the dot? For real, is it 4 on the dot or is it like 4 something? I am celibate due to others' actions. Oh, or those people that say I'm celibate due to others' actions. People don't realize when they say that they are giving their power back. Yes. 5 in Georgia. Okay. 5 in Georgia. Okay, is it 5 on a dot? Y'all, I need to know this. I need to know these answers. On the dot. Okay, so I have 5 more minutes. I think I have a client outside. But yes, I'm gonna address the situation about having friends or whatever. I do think it's a blessing to have friends. But I do also think it's a blessing to enjoy your solitude and not need friends. So for example, like, back in the day when I had friends, a group of girlfriends, right, that I grew up with, we would have subsections. Like I would be close to this girl for a couple years, and I'll be close to this girl because we moved in the same area for a couple years, or I started working with this friend, so we became closer, whatever the case may be. So I would vent to these people, right? I would vent to them. I would, talk about, my experience with this girl, or tell me why she did this, or tell me why she said this, and what you think about this, or, like that's how girls just do. And like, let's say when me and one of the girls fell out, she used to go around the group like, oh, Zakia don't even like you. Zakia said this and Zakia said that. So it's like there are good things with having friends, right? Because you have that support group, you have the people that you can talk to, but also it's a good thing to also not have those type of friends, because sometimes you don't want your only outlet to be venting or gossiping, right? Venting and gossiping was a huge bad habit of mine. And y'all see how much I talk online. Imagine how much I used to talk in these friendships. You know what I'm saying? So I used to create these messy situations on accident, right? Just by like expressing myself to a friend, right? So not having close friends, or just in that type, because I do have close friends now, but it's not the same type of dynamic. Like those were like sisters, like I can't even say that. I do have sisters now, but it's like just those dynamics, it just became too toxic. Like it just became way too toxic. And I realized that I would rather keep my issues within myself or talk to God, you know what I'm saying? Say it in a prayer, than vent to other people. And all of a sudden, now it's getting used against me once you get mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Or I can alkalize my venting or my experiences by adding a lesson onto it and talking about it on YouTube, right? Because one thing about me, I'm never finna be online complaining without a solution. I'm never gonna be online talking about something that happened to me or something that I was a victim of without taking accountability or explaining my part in it, or the signs that I seen. Y'all are never going to see that, because I'm very introspective and I love taking accountability and I love growing. Like I feel bad for people that don't take accountability and that don't apologize, because how the hell do you grow? Like if you don't apologize to no one, how are you growing? If you don't take accountability for nothing you do to yourself or other people, how are you growing? You know what I'm saying? And I love growing. I'm addicted to growing. So I have no problem. Saying my side or what were my problems. Like, come on now. Like, what's a small little ant to a giant? Come on now. Like, I'm moving past that. I'm growing past that. Whatever. So, yes, take accountability for every single thing that happens to you. Just be like, you know what? I didn't see that coming, but I could have prevented that. or I didn't really see that coming, but you know what? I seen the red flags. Or, if you and someone get into it, and you're looking at it in hindsight, you say, you know what, that person did disrespect me, but at the end of the day, I really could have walked away. I really could have walked away. I really didn't have to go back and forth with them, right? I could have left that person being the only one wrong, but because I responded in a negative way, now I'm the second one wrong, right? I'm the second one wrong. So sometimes you just gotta let people be the only one wrong. You know what I'm saying? Let them be the only one wrong. Don't make yourself wrong number two, right? Walk away when you still have the power. Walk away when you still have the power in your hands, right? So yes, you guys. Okay, I gotta go. My client's been outside for 5 minutes, a little too long. Okay. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this live. Drop some pink hearts for me, baby. Drop some pink hearts. That's gonna be my new thing because I use pink hearts like with all my text messages. Like pink hearts are just a part of my world. So yes, take accountability for every single thing that happens to you. Take your power back. Yes, it's fine. It's fine. It's possible to be a victim. But at some point in time, you have to stop pointing the finger at other people and realize the part that you had in it so that you can control your experiences in the future. You can control what you attract, right? And when you make better decisions for yourself, right? You don't have to go through the same lessons over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You don't have to go through the same cycles over and over and over and over and over because you've done the shadow work. You already know who you are. You've done the shadow work. You know what triggers you. You know how you respond to things. You know you. So you know how to get ahead of it. Okay? And you can be 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Okay, so Spider-Man said, thanks for the good vibes. They're more needed than you realize. I appreciate you so much. And every time I do these videos, it's definitely therapeutic for me. So if you think I'm gonna stop anytime soon, you was dead wrong. All right, so I will see y'all in the next live. And yes, see y'all later.